Why some faces are more attractive than others, and why your brain decides in seconds. Imagine walking into a crowded room, hundreds of faces, different ages, different features, different expressions. Yet somehow your brain instantly decides who stands out. You don't consciously measure eye spacing, you don't calculate jaw angles, you don't compare cheekbone height. It just happens. Within a fraction of a second, your brain forms an opinion about attractiveness, trustworthiness, health, confidence, intelligence, and even personality. But here's the fascinating part. Beauty isn't completely random, it's also not entirely subjective. Scientists have spent decades trying to understand why certain faces consistently appear more attractive across different cultures, and the answers reveal that our brains are quietly performing an incredible amount of biological and psychological analysis every time we look at another person. Today, we're breaking down exactly why some faces are considered more attractive than others, the surprising evolutionary reasons behind it, and why the rules are far more flexible than most people think. Let's begin. The first thing to understand is that your brain wasn't designed to appreciate beauty. It was designed to help you survive. Long before modern civilization, humans had to make incredibly fast judgments about strangers. Is this person healthy? Are they dangerous? Would they make a good mate? Could they spread disease? Those decisions often had life or death consequences. As a result, evolution favored brains that became extremely good at recognizing subtle visual clues. Modern attractiveness is largely a byproduct of those ancient survival mechanisms. Many of the facial features people find attractive today are actually unconscious signals that our ancestors associated with health, fertility, strength, or good genetics. Whether those assumptions are always accurate today is another story, but the brain still follows many of the same ancient shortcuts. One of the strongest predictors of facial attractiveness is something called symmetry. If you split a face perfectly down the middle, the left and right sides are rarely identical. Everyone has some asymmetry. One eyebrow sits slightly higher, one eye opens wider, one side of the jaw develops differently. Perfect symmetry doesn't actually exist. But faces that are closer to symmetrical tend to be rated as more attractive. Why? Scientists believe symmetry acts as a rough indicator that someone developed normally without major illness, injury, or genetic stress during childhood. Think of it like constructing two identical buildings at the exact same time. If everything goes smoothly, they'll look almost identical. But if earthquakes, poor materials, or construction problems occur, differences begin to appear. Human development works similarly. The more stable someone's growth, the more symmetrical certain features tend to become. Your brain may interpret that stability as good health without you ever realizing it. Interestingly, studies show that perfectly mirrored faces often look strange or artificial. People usually prefer faces with high symmetry, but still enough natural asymmetry to look human. In other words, perfection isn't actually the goal. Natural balance is. Another major factor is facial proportions. Have you ever noticed that some faces simply feel balanced? Not because of one amazing feature, but because everything seems to fit together. Researchers have found that the distance between the eyes, nose, mouth, forehead, and chin all contribute to overall attractiveness. Your brain seems to prefer faces whose features follow certain average proportions. This concept is called averageness. At first that sounds surprising. Shouldn't unique faces be more attractive? Actually, average doesn't mean boring. It means a face whose proportions are close to the statistical average of healthy people within that population. When scientists digitally combine hundreds of individual faces into one composite image, the result is often rated as more attractive than almost every face that created it. Why? Because random imperfections tend to cancel each other out, while balanced proportions remain. It's almost as if your brain interprets average facial structure as evidence of healthy genetic development. Now let's talk about sexual dimorphism. This simply refers to the features that distinguish male and female faces. For men, testosterone influences many facial characteristics during puberty. A stronger jawline, a more prominent brow ridge, thicker eyebrows, a wider face. These features can signal physical maturity and strength. But there's a catch. Extremely masculine faces aren't always rated as the most attractive. In many studies, women often prefer moderately masculine faces, especially for long-term relationships. Very high masculinity can sometimes be associated with aggression or reduced warmth. For women, estrogen influences softer facial features, larger eyes, higher eyebrows, fuller lips, smaller jawlines, smooth skin, higher cheekbones. These traits are often associated with youth and fertility. Again, balance usually wins. Extreme versions of any feature can quickly become less appealing. The human brain generally prefers moderation over exaggeration. One feature that consistently ranks near the top of attractiveness is skin quality. This surprises many people because most people focus on the shape of their nose or jawline, but your brain notices skin almost immediately. Clear skin suggests lower levels of infection, inflammation, or disease. Even skin tone indicates healthy blood circulation. Healthy coloration often reflects good nutrition. Tiny details that most people never consciously notice can significantly influence first impressions. Researchers have shown that improving skin texture alone often increases attractiveness ratings more than changing facial structure itself. That's one reason skincare routines can have such dramatic visual effects, even without altering bone structure. Then there's facial fat, and this is one of the most misunderstood aspects of attractiveness. Too little facial fat can make someone appear unhealthy or older. Too much can reduce definition, and somewhere in the middle usually appears healthiest. As people age, facial fat naturally shifts and decreases. That's one reason younger faces often appear fuller and softer. Many cosmetic procedures today actually attempt to restore lost facial volume rather than remove it. The goal isn't simply becoming thinner, it's restoring healthy proportions. Now here's something fascinating. Your face isn't judged while sitting perfectly still. It's judged while moving. Dynamic attractiveness often matters more than static attractiveness. Someone with an average face can become extremely attractive through facial expressions. A genuine smile, relaxed eye contact, expressive eyebrows, confident posture, natural conversation. These activate emotional responses far beyond bone structure. Scientists have repeatedly found that people become significantly more attractive once observers interact with them. Kindness literally changes how attractive someone appears. Confidence changes facial muscle tension. Happiness changes expressions. Humor changes perception. Your personality eventually becomes part of your face. The halo effect plays an enormous role. This psychological phenomenon causes people to assume attractive individuals possess other positive qualities. Without realizing it, people often assume attractive strangers are more intelligent, kinder, more competent, more trustworthy, more successful, even when none of those assumptions are supported by evidence. This unconscious bias affects hiring decisions, criminal sentencing, elections, dating, and everyday interactions. Simply looking attractive can change how the world responds to you. That's how powerful facial perception really is. Culture also influences beauty far more than many people realize. Although certain traits like clear skin, facial symmetry, and healthy appearance are remarkably consistent across many cultures, countless beauty standards change over time. Just look at old paintings, fashion magazines from the 1950s, movie stars from the 1980s, social media today. Each generation emphasizes different features. Eyebrows become thicker, then thinner, then thicker again. Faces that seemed ideal decades ago may not fit today's standards. Beauty isn't static, it's constantly evolving. Social media has dramatically changed facial preferences. Most people now spend hours every day looking at edited, filtered, professionally lit faces. Filters enlarge eyes, shrink noses, smooth skin, brighten teeth, lift eyebrows, narrow jaws. Over time, repeated exposure changes what the brain begins to consider normal. Psychologists call this perceptual adaptation. If your brain repeatedly sees altered faces, real human faces can begin to seem less impressive by comparison. This is one reason many people underestimate their own appearance. They're comparing themselves against digitally modified images that don't actually exist in real life. Genetics obviously matter. Bone structure is largely inherited. Jaw width, eye shape, cheekbone projection, facial proportions. These characteristics are heavily influenced by your DNA, but genetics don't tell the entire story. Sleep affects eye appearance. Hydration changes skin quality. Body fat changes facial definition. Sun exposure changes aging. Smoking accelerates wrinkles. Exercise improves circulation. Stress affects inflammation. Nutrition influences collagen production. Even posture can subtly change facial appearance over time. In other words, your genes create the blueprint. Your habits determine how well that blueprint is maintained. One surprising finding from psychology is the mere exposure effect. People often become more attractive simply because you see them repeatedly. The coworker you barely noticed becomes attractive after months of daily interaction. The classmate you overlooked suddenly seems incredibly appealing. Your brain develops familiarity, comfort, and positive associations. Attraction isn't always instant. Sometimes it grows. That's one reason dating apps can create unrealistic expectations. They encourage judging strangers before personality has a chance to influence attraction. Real-world relationships often develop very differently. Perhaps the biggest myth about attractiveness is that there's one perfect face. There isn't. Studies consistently show enormous variation in individual preferences. Some people love strong jaws, others prefer softer faces. Some love freckles, others prefer flawless skin, some prefer expressive eyes, others notice smiles first. Personal experience, childhood, culture, hormones, personality, and even mood all influence what each individual finds attractive. There are biological patterns, but there is no universal winner. So if you've ever wondered why certain faces immediately grab attention, the answer is surprisingly complex. Your brain is evaluating symmetry, skin quality, facial proportions, health cues, expression, movement, confidence, familiarity, culture, emotion, and even your own personal experiences, all within seconds. Beauty isn't controlled by a single feature. It's the result of dozens of tiny signals working together. And perhaps the most encouraging part is this. Many of the strongest contributors to attractiveness aren't fixed at birth. Healthy skin, good posture, genuine smiles, confidence, eye contact, sleep, fitness, stress management. These all influence how your face is perceived every single day. The face you present to the world isn't just shaped by your genetics, it's shaped by your lifestyle, which means attractiveness is far more dynamic than most people realize. And the next time you instinctively think someone has an attractive face, remember this. Your brain isn't just seeing beauty, it's seeing millions of years of evolution making an educated guess about health, genetics, emotion, and human connection, all in less time than it takes to blink.